Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Global Atheists. This is a new show produced by Skeptic Haven. We're going to talk about atheism, obviously, but if you're tired a little bit of hearing Americans talking about atheism and religion, then this is the place where you will be able to get some very different voices from all over the world. See you later. Hey, welcome to Ateo from South America. I'm Cindy Plaza from Belgium. How are you doing?
Hola, Cindy. I'm quite fine, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me to this show. I'm really excited about this, and as you can see for my t-shirt, ready to give, well, my hoodie, this is a hoodie, ready to give some extra information about what we are doing in Spanish and stuff like that.
I'm not inviting you to this show. You are producing it just as well as I do. So
I mean,
we
you
are on
invited me
equal
to
footing
produce the
here.
show.
So today we're going to introduce ourselves, the show, and some of our future hosts. Do you want to do me the honor?
Okay, the first person that we are going to introduce today comes directly from South Africa, and he told me that he has self-proclaimed Satan's young daughter. Is that right, Dean?
Yeah. What can I say, Teo? It's going to be a warm day here in Africa because Satan's daughter is Satan's daughter is on the loose. No, I'm very glad to be a part of this. At the end of the day, our continent, Africa, has been ravaged by religion, and I'm so glad that Africans are finally waking up, and ditching Jesus and Mo and thinking for themselves, and I want to be a part of that process. So yeah, I'm very excited to be with you guys today.
Oh, we have that in common. Here in South America is a very similar story. And yes, we have so many things to talk about. But Cindy, now we are talking about ourselves. I'm sure a lot of people know you already, but we will have new viewers. Why don't you tell us about yourself first?
So my name is Cindy Plaza. I'm French. I live in Belgium. I have a show. I'm also on the Women Atheists Unload show here on Skeptic Haven. And you and I, we are starting today for the first time this new show, the Global Atheists, thanks to an idea from Kat the Humanist, because she was the one who decided to start this show. And it was a great idea because we've been saying, you and I, that we need more voices in atheism. And I've been insisting that we need to listen more to the African continent. So that's what we're going to try to do. So Africa, Asia as well, we're going to try to have some people from there. So we adapted the time of the show in order to have more people from Europe and Africa. And so, yeah, I'm an atheist, always been an atheist. And I'm probably the luckiest person here on this show because I don't have to face religion every day. I don't have to hide my name. I don't have to hide my face. Uh, I don't see religious influence anywhere around me, whether it's at work, in the society, anywhere. I'm very, very lucky in that regards. But since I work a lot on teaching rational thinking, one of the clashes that comes along is religion. And so that's why I'm here.
Nice, very good. So I guess I'm going to go all egocentric and I will introduce myself. As you can see by my name, I am Teo el Ateo. That means Theo the Atheist in English, but come on, in Spanish it sounds way better. I have a channel, sorry, Spanish, a channel called Nuestra Experiencia Atea. Yes, obviously it's based on certain show called Atheist Experience that you have seen around, but this is the Spanish version, or I'm trying to do that. We have several sections over there, and we have been working with people from all over the world, from different countries in South America, Colombia, Argentina, Chile, Panama, etc. With people from Spain, Peru, well, Spain in Europe. So it's amazing how we have seen that it doesn't matter which country you are in, there is always something that is affecting your society, and that something can be traced to, obviously, religion. That's why I'm kind of obsessed with the harms of religions, and why I think that this show is a wonderful idea. Because like this, we can see how in different cultures, different countries, different languages, religion is harming us in different ways all over the world. And yeah, I guess that summarizes me quite well. And Dean, please tell us about you.
Yeah, I've been an atheist now for about 12 years. I grew up obviously I'm such a cookie cutter South African, grew up in a Christian family, went to a Christian school, and like at one stage I just said, like, this, it didn't make sense to me, and I ditched the whole idea. And during that process, what I've noticed is, like you said, Theo, is just the harm that religion does, and if you want to see how religion makes good people do very, very bad things in the name of religion, I invite you to come and visit the African continent, where we have, people being, killed just for having the wrong version of God, and it's very insidious how it gets into every single aspect of daily life. So what I started to do is, we manage the Atheist Republic consulates here in South Africa. And we were told by, whenever I noticed the demographics of our consulates, and I noticed that even amongst the atheists, it was predominantly European Caucasian people who, identified as atheists. And somebody said to me, all atheists are old white men. And I said, but, that cannot be true. It cannot be true. There has to be African atheists, female atheists. And I said, I'm going to make it my mission now to find and speak to every single African and female atheist that I can find. And I started the YouTube channel, and we just started talking to people. And trust me, you can go to any single country that is on the planet. They are out there, and I find it very encouraging. We had some conversations about this. Somebody in our local group said, we will never see the end of religion in our lifetimes, but what we are doing is we are building a foundation for the generations to come, to experience the freedom, that we are, ourselves discovering now, because for me, it was, it was such a relief when I didn't have to stress about about worrying about God and worrying about, what am I going, if I think a wrong or impure thought, then God's going to be angry with me, and I was living my whole life in fear, and it was so unnecessary. And, just this freedom, I want to share that with everybody that I meet, because it's unnecessary, and it's something that's holding Africa and Africans especially back. Because in my experience, Africans we are very spiritual people, and it's such a nonsense word in any case, this word spirituality. But there is a deep connection with nature, and people are very quick to call things spiritual and the experiences as mystical and whatever. And, that's where religion comes into play, because religion also likes this idea of throwing, these vague terms that people, oh, no, it's just, you'll know it in your heart. you can feel it in your soul, and all of that nonsense. But I mean, you don't get me started, because I will go on. You asked me to introduce myself, and here I'm already lecturing you about the evils of religion in Africa. That's me in a nutshell.
We share those evils down here, so this will not be a competition. This will be sadly I totally understand what you say. Here too. Oh yeah, we do that as well. So as Cindy said, she's the luckiest one in here, but I'm quite sure you and I can talk about what we have seen around. And boy, it's painful. It's terrible. So before advancing to something else, Cindy, anything else that you want to ask before you know where I want to jump?
I just wanted to say hi to everyone in the chat. So the Afro-humanist, Magir, Hain, Casey, Randy, Secular Righty is here as well.
I love that guy.
So, hi everyone, and thanks for being here.
Yeah, hi guys. Hi guys. Dear secret producer, can you show us some of those awesome comments from the chat? I really love Miss Producer Wes, the secret man behind the curtain, because I really like reading those out loud and, interacting with them. The Afro-humanist. Love that name. Hello.
Yeah.
I can predict that she's most likely be on this show in the future.
Yeah.
Hey, this guy is totally right. Everybody listen to Secular Rarity. I'm totally sure that he knows why he's saying stuff, and I totally agree with him. So thank you, Secular. I love you too.
Just on that note, the Afro-humanist was one of the first people that I interviewed on this new show, and I mean, such an amazing lady.
Awesome. And once again, read to Secular Rarity. He's totally right. I'm sure this is going to be an awesome show. And I hope that people from all over the world are ready to come here, share the things that they see as harms from religion, because, oh boy, there are so many things. Do you think that we should talk about the most important things that we see in our society, Dean? Because,
definitely, yeah. I mean, if you are, we've got a concept in African culture where the individual is who they are because of the environment that they are in. It's basically summarized as a maxim that goes, "I am because we are." So of course your environment and the people around you have got a very direct influence on you. And I'm a big proponent of, if the environment is toxic for you, then you need to change. You need to change something, or it will influence you.
Yeah, you're totally right. When you started mentioning people who died because of reasons over there, I just wanted to mention that this year some people were murdered because of religion, because they were trying to Christianize them and they refused, so they tortured them. And it's amazing that those things keep happening nowadays in what are supposed to be, more advanced societies.
Yeah.
And we still have that. And
I mean, even Salman Rushdie was attacked now at giving a lecture, was attacked by some extremist, stabbed, and he's in hospital. And oh my God, the man is 75 years old. Leave him be,
I mean,
this story is horrendous because the guy who started this fatwa, this idea that he had to be killed, I think he's dead by now. It was 30 years ago. The guy who stabbed him wasn't even born when the book in question was written and published. The guy himself is from his parents are from Lebanon, but he was born and grew up in the US, and so this shows how powerful the influence of social media is when it comes to indoctrination. We almost don't need churches anymore. You can be self-indoctrinated online. That's how ISIS worked for a while, but it still works, and we see the effect there. this this is just crazy.
Yeah, it's almost like you cannot draw the line, because it's such a spectrum from religious to extremist, and I just want to know, like, where can we draw the line where we see, okay, now it's becoming extreme, because, people say, what have you got against religion? Why do you atheists keep on nagging about religion? And this is the reason why, because it makes normal people do crazy, insane, hideous things to one another, in the name of religion. And this is something that I feel very strongly about. I can don't get me started, because I've got a list.
Oh, well.
How do you call it? The blacklist?
The list of shame from the Vatican right through to from the Vatican through to the oil fields of Arabia.
Don't start talking about the Catholic Church, because Theo Latino is pretty mad about them.
Oh yeah, especially the Pope. That disgusting POS. I'm going to be family friendly because I'm supposed to be a cartoon, so here we are. But yeah, no, the Catholic Church and everybody defending it. I mean, the Pope, I can't even understand. He's the POS in charge. He's there. He's rich and he makes millions by just saying stupid stuff defending those pedophiles. But the people who give the money to this awful institution, to this worldwide mafia that is the Catholic Church, it sickens me and it makes me extremely angry. And it's awful how religion can make very kind and nice people support people who are raping children and protect them and defend them. So yeah, you may say that I'm a little bit upset about the Catholic Church.
Just told you, don't mention Catholic Church when Theo Ateo is here.
I will never forget that what Christopher Hitchens called them a clutch of hysterical virgins or something.
I mean, they wish, but they are most likely just a huge amount of rapists, and that's it. Because they openly cannot have sex, but secretly, ugh.
Exactly. In all fairness, I'm sure that there are 3 or 4 nuns that stay chaste and maybe like a few priests, but I mean, it's for me, it's an imposition on human nature, to require people to take these vows of celibacy. And again, like, what are you trying to prove? Are you trying to prove to us or to yourself or to God? Like, how does it work? I don't get it.
Oh, neither. That's just something that was born so priest wouldn't have children, and the Catholic Church would keep everything after the priest died. So it was a way of not losing resources by the church. It's just money manipulation, and that's it.
Yeah, because the Bible says that if a priest has to be good, if he has to be if he wants to be able to lead his flock, he has to be able to lead his family first. And so he has to have a family in the first place. So yeah, the Bible says the opposite of what the Catholic Church has been doing for 1300 years.
Yeah.
Also, let's remember and not forget that in order to be a priest or a priest from the church, you had to be born from the family of who was it? Moses' brother. It's not Abraham.
Aaron.
Come on, Aaron. Yes,
Aaron,
you had to be from the specific family. So only the firstborn child, who was a male, could be a priest. So yeah, they had to have a family, they had to have children, and nobody else could be a priest according to those rules.
Yeah. Let's answer Secularity's question. He asks, what do you think is the most important thing to focus on to push back on religion in your country or area of the world?
Education. For me, it's education, always. Education is the only way to keep advancing and help people wake up and realize, hey, do you really believe that you were made by, you are born because there was a mad person, somebody made with soil and with dirt and water, and then somebody took a rib out of that person? or do you really understand how human beings and all life came to be in this planet?
I agree.
Dean?
For me, it's teaching people how to think and not what to think. Because again, it's like Teo say, if you believe that it's a Mudman and Ribwoman and the talking snake and the talking donkey, or the flying horse that split the moon, or all of that stuff. If you buy into that kind of mythology, what can you not believe? If you believe that, the question is, what will you not believe? Where do you draw the line? And I'm always a big proponent of teaching people critical thinking. There's also a lady here in our atheist group that's she loves to go on and on about this. She names all the logical fallacies. And the funny thing is, it was only until later in my adult life that I learned about logical fallacies and thinking, the way that we think about things, and sometimes we want to believe things that we call them those truths that are, they're sweet, but they've got a very bitter center. So if I know I'm being very abstract and vague here, but let's take a concrete example. Just for example, taking an authority, taking something from an authority because you think it's an authority. For example, a priest or a person in government, and automatically, because that person has that position, that whatever they say and tell you to do, you automatically accept it as truth because that person is an authority. But that is not the correct way of thinking about it, because that person might be telling you a big load of, a big cart full of donkey poop, and and you just believe it because that person is in a position of authority. It's also known as the argument from authority. It's because X person who has these credentials says this, it's true. So it's that at the end of the day, for me, is the most important thing, is to get people to learn how to think about things and to question everything. And skepticism, critical thinking, those are the tools that have served me very well in discerning what is BS and what is not BS. And trust me, when people present me with religion, it's BS all the way. I mean, I can sit there. It's almost like a pin the tail on the donkey. You can blindfold me and I will find the fallacy for you somewhere in the argument. And they hate that. Oh, they hate that. Don't tell them that this is an argument from authority, or this is a special pleading, or whatever. They hate that, because it's weird. It's like a house built on a foundation of sand. We were talking earlier about building a foundation and leaving a legacy for the generations that are to follow us. As far as I can tell, religion is built on a foundation of sand. As soon as you shake the one corner, the whole thing starts shaking, and there's people in the building screaming at you, "Hey, stop! you're gonna break the whole thing down." I personally have had enough of it.
Yes,
I
like
think it also comes with age. Like as you grow older, you become less tolerant of nonsense. I think so. As I grow older, I've got less and less time available for religious and for tap dancing all around these issues.
I say that almost every time I on air, teaching rational thinking is the solution. But this time, since you both spoke about this, I think something else might be interesting. We should teach kids to learn how to get some perspective. Like, for example, we tend to be egocentrical creatures. We focus first on what happens to us. But if we take a look back and look at everything that's in front of us, we realize things like, for example, uh, if you're born in Afghanistan, then you will be Muslim. If you're born in the south of the US, you will be some sort of Christian. If you and realizing this would be very, very important for children, and maybe not necessarily talking about big issues like religion, but talking about parent education, uh, points of view, and those kind of things can be explained to children.
Yep, totally agree. And well, that's why religions are doing such a huge effort now in indoctrinating children, because the younger you indoctrinate them, the harder it is to live religion. I was very lucky because my parents are believers and I grew up in a believer home. But my mother is a very smart woman, and she always taught us how to think for ourselves. That's why I was able to realize so many things, and but there was so much BS in religions. But as you say, if you teach children how to think critically, all these ideas are going to fall like a house with a sound foundation. I was going to say like a Jenga house, you start removing some pieces and everything falls down.
Yeah.
So yeah, education and critical thinking, and starting when they are children. Because I don't know if you realize, but religion, they don't, well, it doesn't want your children being educated. Sex education is evil because they are going to teach them to have sex. No, sex education is going to teach your children how to take care of your body, and that the priest doesn't have the right to touch their private parts. But people don't realize that. Oh no, they don't have to teach evolution at schools because that goes against the Bible. Well, maybe people is your Bible the problem and not the facts. Maybe not what we know about reality. So it's hard. I love Ascalon's question about my calendar. Wes, can you show it, please? Because he realized it, and I like it. So if you can see that handsome guy in here, it's kind of familiar. I'm planning to sell them one day, because come on, look at that. Looks so beautiful. Yeah, look at that calendar. It's awesome. Do you see the likeness?
Yeah, you definitely worked out.
I worked out a lot only for that one picture. You can see that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we have
except in your place it's winter, it's not summer, so I call bullshit on the picture.
Cindy Plaza, I have to tell you, this might be surprising for you, but you can go to the beach even in winter. You know that? It's quite cool.
True. Yeah,
And
that's true.
I actually, I'm a little bit paler than most people, so I prefer when it's to go there in winter, because sometimes it's cloudy. In this picture, it wasn't, but when it's cloudy, I love it. And there is a question for Dean that I would like to see in here, because I'm sure he is willing to answer this, and I really want to know the answer.
Yeah, of course. I saw it. I saw it pop up, and the demographics. The influence is, to a certain degree, you'll find halal foods in every single supermarket that you go to. In my neighborhood, there's a mosque that wails the early hours of the morning and late in the evening. But if you look at the statistics, in terms of the demographics, it's 86% Christian, and then there are tribal, animist, ancestral kind of religions or spiritual practices, 5.4%. 1.9% of the country professes to be Muslim, and then 1.5% other type of religions, and 5.2% nothing in particular. So, the influence that it has, though, is people walk on eggshells around Muslims. We recently had some. It's not overt in your face, but people are always very careful not to offend the sensibilities, because it's like it's like playing with a match around a keg of gunpowder. Like it could go off at any second. But it's that is a vast generalization, because it's a lot of people. But personally, I don't really experience, Islam as a religion influencing me or my life. I know Muslim people. There's a large Muslim population in the city where I stay. But I wouldn't say, in South Africa, but if you go to the north, travel a little bit up, a couple of countries up, when you get, to the equator and further north, then you'll see the ugly face of Islam, and you'll see the ugly face of the followers of Islam and what they do in the name of Islam. You'll see women, being boxed up in houses, never seeing the sun, having their genitals mutilated, being sold as no. I mean, like, it's common practice in Africa. FGM, I'm not trying to downplay anything. Like it's a horrible thing that happens in North Africa, and a lot of women who try to escape that environment, end up the worse for wear. They get treated terribly. So, in my opinion, it really is a very pernicious religion. It infects people. Makes them very. I don't know. I hate to talk in these terms. Where I just like make a sweeping statement that that applies to an entire population or an entire people, but the fruits, you can see the fruits from the tree, and I'm afraid there are a couple of worms in all of them.
Yeah, of course. I guess that the problem is that Muslim countries have this problem that they become theocracies, which is, by the way, what the USA is trying to do with Christianity right now. So I'm kind of scared about that. And yeah, they start arriving a little bit, slowly, peacefully. And when they are in power, you have what happens in Afghanistan, or what happens in the north part of the African continent, as Dean said. And I don't know how is it over there, but I've seen a lot of publicity here on social networks about, hey, do you want to be happy? Join Islam. Do you want to have a better life? Join Islam. Do you know about Islam? And stuff like that. And they are trying to arrive little by little. The numbers are still small, but they arrive and start growing really quickly. I'm not sure if it is because their religion asks them to have a lot of children and those children have to follow the religion, or for other reasons, but it's a phenomenon that keeps happening. Actually, in China, there are they got to a moment. China and India, they were growing so fast that there were movements against them. Sadly, they were socialist, racist movements. So in India, they are in danger. In China, they have these concentration camps for Muslims. So it's still terrible because they either become the victims or victimers. That apparently it's hard to see an intermediate, and it's scary.
It's true. The thing that I once saw this cartoon where it it's like a split screen. On the one side it says when Muslims are in the minority, and then you have this smiling person trying to show you about the book of, the Quran and everything, be smiling. And on the other side, it says when Muslims are in the majority, and you see just swords and fucking heads flying. And I know it's a stereotype, but that's the case, and I think all religions work in that sense. In a certain sense, I think Christianity has gone down the road where now that we have so much information at our disposal, everybody is interconnected in the world. Just a couple of centuries ago, they also ruled by the sword, and it's only now that Christianity comes to us, with open hands. We're so peaceful, we're so nice. They have no right, in my opinion, they have no right to forget how they behave when they think that they are strong, because that is where you see the true colors of religion shine. When they don't have any checks or balances, when when 90% of the country follows a certain religion, then you'll see the true colors of that religion, because that is, like you guys said earlier, it becomes authoritarian, almost like a dictatorship.
Not only that, when they feel that they are stronger or they have, more resources, here in North, Central, and South America, we have the perfect examples. The religions, Europeans arrived with their religion. In the name of their God, they enslaved people, they murdered people, they committed genocide, either a cultural genocide and also physical genocide. They brought different diseases, they murder a lot of people by making them work until they died out of exhaustion. So that's how the Catholic, not Catholic, the Christian religion expanded in North America, South America, and Central America. And that's why these countries are religious. Not because the religion is true or something like that. It's because it was imposed with violence and murdering everybody else. It was awful, disgusting, extremely.
Yeah.
Okay, I think... Oh, sorry, Cindy?
No, yeah, I was going to say we have a question from Shane Bilowitz. Any tips on how to be more comfortable or fluent when having theological or philosophical conversations in other languages? Well, I would give the usual advice, which is the same for everything. It's just listen to the conversations. That's how you learn words. That's how you learn arguments. That's how you learn anything about those topics. You just listen to people talking about this. So you look for YouTube channels, you look for movies, TV shows. If you are into basic philosophy, then you can watch The Good Place, which is an amazing show and talks a lot about many concepts of philosophy and ethics. And so that's basically how you learn and how you do. That's how I did. I didn't learn any religion or philosophy or critical thinking in school. All this language I know, I learned with practice.
You went straight away with a nice answer. I was going to be like, no lo sé, amigo, no tengo idea cómo hacer algo así, jamás lo he hecho en mi vida y supongo que es práctica, práctica, práctica. Yeah, practice, practice, practice.
Practice, practice, practice. Yeah.
Come on, Dean, I know you can do it. Say something in a non-English language, please.
I can speak Afrikaans. I mean, like it's a Dutch dialect, but it's going to hurt your ears,
I'm ready, brother. Do it.
Wel, eerstens, dink vir jouself. Moenie al die nonsens glo wat jy van almal hoor nie. Dit is die heel eerste ding. Tweedens, nadat jy vir jouself begin dink het, versprei jy daai gedagtes aan almal.
I don't know how much you insulted me, but that was beautiful. Loved it. So can you give the Spanish version? The English version? No, the English version, sorry. Can you give the English version? No?
The English version of what you said?
You want me to translate that for you? Okay. So I said the first step would be to learn how to think for yourself. And then the second part would be to learn how to spread that in your community, to get other people to think for themselves as well.
Beautiful, love it.
Yeah.
Cindy, you should use French. Just saying. Showing the international side.
I could, yeah. But that reminds me that you and I, we had a discussion about a week ago about the idea of making spin-offs of this show in our native language in order to reach for more people, because we know, you and I, that right now the people in the chat are those who already watch Skeptic Haven shows, meaning US-oriented content. And so if we want to reach more people in our respective regions, then we need to do it at least partially in our language. And so we are thinking about doing something like that. Hey, Cynthia, we are thinking about doing something like recorded shows in our own language, designated to our own people, if I can say it like that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, like in South Africa, we have 9 official languages. So, we just decided as well that when we started the channel, we're just going to diversify it. Whoever wants to produce a show in their own language, and we gave them the opportunity, they went for it, and it's attracted its own audience. People. There's nothing like hearing something in your mother tongue, the tongue that you grew up speaking. The ideas just seem to resonate with you on a deeper level. I don't know, this, what's that translator fish, the Babel fish? I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
Yep. Yeah. It's not Monty Python, it's the Hitchhiking Guide to the Galaxy.
Yes. As Adams's book. Yeah.
Okay, we have an interesting question in the chat that I would like to talk about from Crabby Old Lady. If you can bring it, dear West. Guys, do you feel comfortable letting people know that you're atheist? Why or why not? I guess I should start answering that I don't feel comfortable by that. That's why you see this beautiful face and that's it. But I'm not giving you my legal name or where I work or ways to contact my family, because they definitely live in very religious places, and I know that there can be consequences, and yeah, I don't want to deal with those consequences. Call me a coward if you want, but I like my simple life. So I don't know about you guys. I would like to hear your opinion about this.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dean.
For me, when I just found out that I was an atheist, it was like a new toy. Like I wanted everybody to play with my new toy, and like after a couple of years, it's complete indifference. Like I'm so indifferent to religion. It's a non-issue. If people will only hear about my atheism when they approach me with religion. And I'm very comfortable. If people tell me, okay, we're gonna pray before we eat now, I'll say, like, don't you trust the cook? You want to make sure you go to heaven. If the cook poisons you, like, why do you want to pray? But I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable to let people know that I'm an atheist. It's I can never get over the look of shock and horror on people's faces. I don't know, call me a bit of a sadist, but it gives me great joy. And it also, I'm all about being authentic and living an authentic life. I'm in an environment where I have the luxury to do that. Some people don't find themselves in an environment where it's cool for them to just say, I don't believe, and nobody's going to, there's no social consequences to it. There's no environmental consequences to your life, so depending, like Cynthia said, depending on where you find yourself and your dynamics, it might be, completely reasonable for you to, to want to hide that from other people. But speaking for myself, I'm completely comfortable with it. Every single person that I know knows that I don't believe, and that they're going to have a very bad time if they talk about Jesus or Allah or Vishnu around me, because then that's going to be like at least half an hour, 45 minutes of me bitching about some aspect of religion to them.
And what about you, Cindy?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I'm privileged in this area because France and Belgium both are very secular. I don't remember the last time someone approached me with a religion discussion, except my mother. Once, once I took a priest as a hijacker, but other than that, um, the topic never comes up because nobody cares. It's not
Yeah.
important in people's lives here. Some people are theists, most are Catholics, but and it depends also on how you frame the question, because if you say what religion do you belong to, they will say I'm Catholic. But if you say do you believe in any god, they will say no. But they still many of them, my neighbor just above me, we had a discussion about that a few months ago. She thinks herself as a Catholic because it's her environment, it's how she was raised, and she's what we call cultural Catholic. But she doesn't believe in God, so she shouldn't call herself a Catholic. So yeah, the numbers, they depend on how you ask the question. They can go from 35% of the French population to 55, 55% Christians, meaning 50% Catholic and 5% Protestants. But yeah, I think the 35% number is closer to reality because of this cultural element. 5% only of those theists go to church every week, so that's not much.
So how hard is to move there? Just asking for a friend. That friend is me.
So how? I'm sorry, I didn't hear the
How hard
question.
is to move there? To move to your location? I'm just asking.
It's very easy,
Really?
very easy. Yeah, and Belgium has the best chocolate, best waffles, best beer. So yeah, come over.
Cindy, after this, you and I are talking. That's a promise. Okay, and I see that we have. It's a question that we kind of mentioned already, but I would like to have it in here from the Afro-humanist. What are your thoughts on Salman Rushdie? It's sad. I'm not going to say much because that's my topic for tomorrow, but for Monday, sorry. But you guys, please.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just surprised that you know it happened after how many 33 years. I read an article earlier today, and it's actually quite shocking. You know, it's you know that. I mean, like, who holds a grudge, first of all, for 33 years, you know? It's like a mother-in-law, you know? she hates the son-in-laws for 33 years and finally decides to stab him. I mean, like, heavens. You know, I'm making light of the situation. It's very serious, but yeah, I believe he's you know, he's not in critical condition, but he did get, I mean, like, who likes to be stabbed in the neck? You know, it's like, it's crazy. Shocking. You know, I'm just saying, like, I'm going like, look, this is what religion makes ordinary sane people do. You know, it's crazy. And he's such a nice man, you know, like soft spoken, very clear. And, you know, it's not like he's, you know, he wrote an academic work. Now people are all up in arms and they think the world's going to end because somebody, you know, people can, you know, say, yeah, look at Dean, you know, he's old, he's gray, he's bald, he's a little fat. And I'm not going to want to go and kill their children and kill them and their next generation, you know, like, but now you say something about is a prophet or some imaginary person, and all of a sudden people take offense to it. This is the thing about religion that really bothers me, is that it becomes part of people's identity. They incorporate it into their identity, so that when you criticize the religion, I'm not saying anything about you or your mother or your father or your niece, cousin, uncle, whatever family or you have. I'm criticizing an idea. And all of a sudden you take it personally and you want to attack me for what? I mean, I don't get it. Like in no other aspect of society. Okay, maybe some people go crazy for sports, or they have some fan club that drives them crazy as well, but
Or politics.
yeah, politics as well. Yeah.
You're forgetting about hooligans, but okay. We are a violent species.
I didn't think too hard before I said that. Yeah, no, it's crazy. I don't know. It's just for me, it's a breeding ground for fanaticism. And that is the thing. Any kind of fanaticism and extremism go hand in hand. People have to be fanatics to be extremists, and they have to be extremists to be fanatics. It's just one thing that fuels the other in this unholy broth.
Yeah, I talked about this a little bit earlier in the show, so I'm sorry that you missed that, the Afrohumanist. But I will say that on top of everything that we said, one lesson we need to learn here is that religion is patient, because the way it is that it transmits from parents to children. Like I said earlier, the perpetrator of the attack, he is 24, meaning he wasn't even born when the book was published. So he couldn't possibly be offended by something that happened before he was born. He was just indoctrinated afterwards, maybe by his parents, maybe not, we don't know yet. But yeah, religion is patient because it teaches to children very, very early on, and then this hate, it's just like a snowball. It takes momentum very slowly, but it takes momentum, and then it acts when it has the occasion. If you look at Christianity in the US, it's the same. There's been what we call them WASP, White Anglo-Saxon Protestants, for 200 years. They left Europe because they were persecuted there, and they came here, and slowly but steadily they started grabbing power, and now they are, for all intents and purposes, in power. They have the Supreme Court. They have most of the government. It's a very, very patient notion to say that you can just teach your children hate, and then it will grab whatever it can when it can.
I mean, the guys that they are defending have been dead for thousands of years, so 1,000 and some hundred of years at least, each one of them, either Jesus or the Prophet Muhammad, whatever. So yeah, you're totally right. It's very slow, it's very patient, and keeps poisoning people, harming minds, and harming people living under those rules. Look at the USA now. Women cannot even get an abortion if they are raped. They can be condemned to jail or have to pay to the family of the rapist only because religion says something awful. And Dean already talked about what is happening with Muslims taking over the north part of Africa. So it's painful, it's awful, and it's terrible. For real. And something I briefly mentioned that I really like that Karen Pensia is asking about is about your views on India, guys. I mean, That is a heavy topic because there are so many things happening in there. I mean, we had the Muslim group that's starting growing so much, so people reacted, and now they are being attacked. And there is a kind of nationalist, how to call it, nationalist movement that is trying to discriminate Muslims at the same time that they are imposing their religions. So for me, it's crazy. But please, guys.
Sorry, go, Cindy.
No, India terrifies me because they have a big economy, they have a big population, they are still almost considered a third world country in the rest of the world, but they have a big army, um, and they have very, very strong conviction. I mean, the caste system and religion are both working hand to hand, and that's very dangerous. When you have people so motivated by their ideology, that's very dangerous. So, luckily for us, they are a bit surrounded by two other big countries, Russia and China. So maybe that's a good thing. But yeah, the situation over there, it terrifies me.
Dean?
2 words: Sexy Cali. Do you guys know about Sexy Cali?
I have no idea, sorry.
Oh yes, it was a drawing that it got a lot of people angry over there.
Yeah, Sexy Cali. So Armin Navabi, the founder of the Atheist Republic, he retweeted something. I don't know. I can't remember the exact context, but it was this innocuous picture of a Hindu goddess, and he said something like, this is so amazing, this is so beautiful. How can people, if only we had goddesses like this? And it caused an uproar. Like the people, especially like you said, the nationalists. I believe there is a sect called Hindutva or something along those lines, who they take these things to an extreme level. So again, it's a breeding ground for extremism. By the looks of it, and the level of butthurt that came out of that, it was crazy. The backlash, insane, to the extent that they banned accounts and closed accounts from certain geographies. So my personal, there is an Indian population in South Africa as well. But nothing to the extremes that you see it happening in India. And like you guys alluded to, things like the caste system and that kind of things. I find that kind of it's horrific, and especially the way that women are treated, in India, because of this whole legacy of caste systems, and you throw poverty into the mix there, and it's crazy, and then you have the Mother Teresa going to Calcutta to sow her bad ideas. I just love how Christopher Hitchens took into her. Yeah, no, I my opinion on India, I love the people. I love the culture. It's extremely colorful and exotic and everything, but at the end of the day, it's just another flavor of religion. It's another flavor of religion. And, we see firsthand how, regardless of the form that religion takes, it can come as a Mormon, it can come as a Hindu, it can come as a Shinto priest, it can come as whatever, whatever flavor it comes in, it's toxic, and it really, it's to the detriment of humanity's continued progress. And where would we be as a species if we didn't have this rock weighing us down. We've been carrying this rock in our evolution for how many centuries, you know. And I think it's just something that weighs us down. Even even the, like I said, the Indian culture that I've encountered, people are very, how can I say, I'm trying to word this very diplomatically. There's a certain kind of, like a, how can I say, a superstition that follows, with the religion. Things are done in a certain way. It's very ritualistic. But I've had very limited encounters beyond what I've seen in my local environment here with Hinduism in India.
I would like to make to talk about something that you said about how far humanity would have advanced without religion, because for thousands of years people got killed if they dared to open a dead body in order to investigate anatomy or how a disease affected a body because of religion, because of the Bible. I still remember, and I always use this example, when anesthesia was invented, they wanted to use it with women who had to go through pregnancy, because, pregnancy is very painful. Well, not the whole pregnancy, but when a baby is born. And who do you think didn't want women to receive anesthesia? Obviously, the Catholic Church, because God said that women had to suffer when they had a child. So because of religion, they had to fight in order to have the right to get anesthesia when they were giving birth to a baby.
Yeah. 2 words. Galileo Galilei.
Ooh, yeah.
What the fuck, Catholic Church? Excuse my language.
Oh my gosh, sir, you're French.
Wait,
yeah, he survived because he was part of the Catholic Church. If not, he would have died right away.
Yeah. I'm just going to come back to India quickly, because there was another point I wanted to make. I made an episode on my channel to talk about the rise of the far right in the Western world. We see in many countries the far right rising slowly. Like we've seen in the US, we've seen it in South America, in some countries. We've seen in many European countries. The far right did 44% last election in France. And once the far right is here, then the religious people come and back them up. So first comes the political wave, and then the religious one. And I'm afraid that if this far right movement gains traction in India on top of religion, that's what scares me the most.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I think that we have talked about some very heavy issues in here. And we're just scratching the surface. Now we're not talking about any place in particular. We are just talking about some general stuff that people have commented or that we have thought about. Imagine when we start with the next episodes and we go with the people who are suffering under things that we cannot even imagine. Because here we are mentioning stuff that I'm sure everybody in the chat knows about and talk about. Yeah. But now we're going to be talking about things that we have no idea that happened in other places. And that is kind of scary. I mean, I'm excited about the information, but I'm scared about what type of things we're going to learn. So I think it's going to be an interesting show, this one, guys.
Yes, and you raise an interesting point, because we all know that sometimes when we see so many bad news every day, at some point we get tired mentally, and we need to take some time off. And I'm curious to see how we're going to manage that um, to be informative but not too scary, because we don't want to scare people like so many do. We want to inform. We want to give voice to people who don't have a voice right now. So yeah, I'm curious to see how we're going to find balance here.
Yeah.
I mean, if the information is scary, it's scary. We cannot do anything about it. But
But
I'm pretty sure if you present an information while you're dancing, that tends to help a little bit.
I'm not doing that striptease, Cindy. I told you already.
yeah. Well, you know what I always like to do, when we present information, sometimes, harrowing things to our to the members in our consulates, we always try to balance it just with what's being done. What's trying to give a very balanced view, because I don't know if you are like me. I always, I gravitate towards the doom and the gloom. I always see the bad and the harm, and it's very important that we also focus on the other side of the story, because everywhere that there is people doing bad and harm, there's people doing the opposite exactly, on that same playing field. And it's important to balance this, to give a balanced opinion. That's what I am a big advocate of.
Nice.
Okay. So does anyone have any final thoughts?
I'm personally excited about being here. And why are you covering my cute face with the final thoughts? No, I'm very happy about this segment. I think it's something very important. And I think that there are many, many things that we either don't know or even forget. When Dean was mentioning the female castration, I swear I had forgotten about that. And then Dean mentioned it, and all the images came to me, and it was like, oh, come on. And I think that it's important that we remember that we are not doing this because, we are angry at religion or we are angry at God. No, we don't believe in God. We are just I'm personally not sure if angry, but more scared about the harms that religion is creating all over the world that we don't even know about. So I think that this show at least is going to be very good for that, to tell us in what other ways things are affecting us. So I consider it very important.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm here in the African continent, so we are going to focus on all kinds of things. We want to talk about spirituality, witchcraft, and all of these, things that affect that have real life consequences and impact on the lives of African people. And religion, especially likes to throw itself in the ring there, wants to be part of that fight. And there's a lot of things that we can talk about in that realm. And watch the space, because we've got a very exciting guest that we are busy finalizing with for our next African segment. It's going to be myself and Harrison Mumia from Atheists in Kenya, and we have got a very special guest that we are going to interview, who does amazing work in this sphere. That's just a teaser, just tease you with a little bit of information, but I give you nothing at the end of the day, just so that you want more and you come back.
Okay. So first of all, I apologize because I just realized the light. Because when we started the show, I had a lot of natural sunlight, but it's slowly going away. So I have to be careful about that next time. So yeah, I'm really, really eager to having those discussions. I want not only to, as Dean said, Dean Kruger said, familiarize everyone with the issues people have with religion throughout the world, but also what they do to help fight it. What measure do they take to educate, to protect people, to everything in this area. So that's also what I want to see, not just religious people are bad here, they do this and this and that. I also want to give people the opportunity to say, okay, look, this is how we fight here. Maybe this could help over there, and also try to build a sense of community between the different areas of the world. Right now, the big atheist community is in the U.S., but and there are small websites everywhere else. But I would like to see all this come together. That's my main goal.
Nice. So, Cindy, I think that you have to go now with the patrons because we're starting to close. And this has been a wonderful show, guys. Thank you for being here. And the chat has been awesome as well. So thank you, chat. You are the best.
Yes, thanks everyone in the chat. So as for all Skeptic Haven shows, you can like, subscribe, hit the bell if you want to be notified for every show. Thanks for the producers, Wes, Phil, and everyone else. And also thank you for the Patreons of the show, which are Kathy Cotton, myself, Bryce, Deborah Grace, Michelle, Aaron Coalson, and Phil Calderone. We'll also thank the booking team, which helps tremendously to organize the guests and everything. And so I wish all of you to be very, very well, because there's a lot of heat right now in many places. I suffer from it right now, and I know some of you as well. So drink, drink, drink as much as you can. Protect yourself, protect your loved ones. And in the meantime, I thank you again for being here, and see you next time.